All right, guys, it looks like we are live now. Welcome back. Let's see, I don't think Tuesdays I'm rebranding this. I'm going to be calling this our online presence hacks office hours. So every Tuesday, except for next week. Sometimes we're going to change, but every Tuesday we come here and I answer your online presence hacks and your questions for you to get your business online. And as we start with a lot of energy. Super excited to have you guys here. If you're here, hashtag live. Let's go. All right, it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Let's go. It's Tuesday. If you're here, hashtag live. If you're catching this on the replay, let me know that you are here on the replay. So I'm making sure that I'm connected here so I can see your comments. All right. Hey, Radhika. Who else do we have in the house? We have people in the house. If you're here, hashtag live. All right, let me turn the music down. Alexa, off. There we go. Thank you, Alexa. Okay, and let me turn this down. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen like we do every single week during Online Presence Hacks office hours. Get the party started, shall we? Okay, so let me share my screen. How are you guys all beautiful people? How are you all doing on this beautiful Tuesday? Let me know in the comments how you're all doing. Radhika, I am so excited to chat with you at some point this week. Let's make it happen. We have a lot to talk about. So let's see, is it showing? I think it will be. Here we go. All right, so welcome to Online Presence Hacks with your favorite, the one and only Luz Gonzalez. Do you guys like how, we're talking about branding and like everything is super branded, even my water bottle, everything is on brand, y'all. Today is March 31st, 2020, and let's get into it. Hey, Mark, good to see you here. Let's get into it, everybody. So online presence office hours for your online presence hacks. So this is the group. Hey, Dennis, this is the group where we discuss how to get you online. How do we get your business? How do we get you as a coach, as a consultant, as a service business owner, as a small business owner, as a solopreneur, whatever it is that you're doing, especially now in the times of uncertain, crazy, different Corona times, you have to be online. So these office hours are going to be really, really important. And this is where you guys get to bring your questions. Hey, Diego, good to see you here. This is where you guys get to bring your questions. So shall we dive in? Let's dive in. We're going to start like we always do with our community guidelines, then our updates and news, then the focus of the week, then quick celebrations from you all. We want to, especially in days like now, where I don't know, do you guys remember how many days it's been in quarantine? We've been in quarantine for a while. It's easy to lose track of the days. I think it is more important than ever to stay connected to your joy, stay connected to your gratitude, stay connected to your celebration. So at that point, I'm going to want to hear your celebrations, and then we're going to dive into our Q&A. So if you guys have Q&A, I have Q&A that you guys have asked previously. So when you guys were joining, I'm going to go to those Q&A. But if you guys have Q&A here, you get to ask those questions. Hey, Vicky in the house. Vicky in the house. Vicky in the house. Vicky and I, we met at a tribe of buyers at this event in San Diego. And I loved meeting you, Vicky. And we had Chipotle together and had some great conversations. We have to catch up, girlfriend. Okay, let's dive in, shall we? Sales brand. So what are you doing here? If you're new here, let me know. Let me know if you're new to this group. I'm so excited to welcome you to this community. If you are new here, this is the Sales Brand Facebook group where we have weekly business trainings. I bring you interviews. I've been super busy this whole weekend. I worked through the weekend. I was supporting an event. So I presented. Some of you guys are here. You're Thrivers. And I presented to about 300. Well, we had like about 300 entrepreneurs who showed up. And so I presented 2 days to over close to 300, people. And so I was tired. And so that was really, really cool. And in this community here, so we might have some Thrivers. If you're a Thriver, welcome into this community. This is my community. This is Sales Brand community. So what is Sales Brand? Sales Brand is helping you create an online presence that sells. It goes into, yes, concepts of branding, but specifically we focus on online. That means we're looking at your social media, strategy. We're looking at your website strategy. We're looking at your content strategy. We're looking at your sales strategy. We're looking at all of the things that you need to be doing to become what I call a magnet, to become a lighthouse for your ideal clients. So if that sounds interesting to you, can we get an amen? Hallelujah. I preach a yes, let's do this in the comments. That's what we do here. And I support you guys in various ways. One is, office hours. So I know a lot of you have sent me messages asking me questions. I can't answer all the questions via Messenger. This is your chance. This is your chance to ask me questions. So today it's just going to be you guys asking questions about your online presence. How do you get your business, especially again now, it is really, really, really important for you to get your business online. And we're here to support you every single week. Now, that's the first level of support. You guys get that for free. It's super awesome. I am so grateful to have you guys here. The second level of support, if you guys want more support, is the full online course. If you're like, Luz, I am ready to go. I need to do this. I just need to know how to do it. Sign up for the online course, which crazy. I wish I had one of those blowhorns, right? It is now 50% off. So I understand how hard Corona is influencing, and it's hard times, right? And it's uncertain. Today we're going to be talking about pivoting and what it means to pivot and have a pivot strategy in your future and right here, right now. And that's, these are conversations that I'm having with my one-on-one clients. And so as you're thinking of your, like your presence, what you're doing, I'm like, I lost like just sexy moment as they call it in Thrive. Like I just lost my train of thought. So you want to be a magnet. We're going to be doing that. Oh, so the online course. Sorry. Yes. So the online course is going to allow you to just like dive in. If you're one of those people that's like, just give me the goods. I know how to do it myself. It is 50% off, which is crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's super crazy. So if you guys ever wanted to have access to the course, this is my way of supporting you guys. This is my way of saying, like, it has never been more important for you to get your business online. I'm going to make it available at 50% off for just through the next 2 weeks. So just through the next 2 weeks, it's 50% off. So you guys can jump on that and start building your business presence. If you guys wanted more support, we have the accelerator, which we're having a call tonight for all of my accelerator members. And in the accelerator, what we do is we jump on Zoom and you guys ask me questions and you have access to Messenger. That's the only way that I answer questions in terms of Messenger is if you're part of my accelerator. And the last way to get support from me is actually hire me as your one-on-one business, holistic business coach. And there's only a few spots left for that. So if that's interesting to you, just let me know. The thing that I'm going to recommend the most for all of you here is going to be the accelerator, because that's where you get to come on every single week and ask me questions. You guys have access to Messenger and you guys have access to each other. So that's really cool. So let's keep going, shall we? Community guidelines. These are the guidelines that guide how it is that we show up here and what it is that we do here. So number one, this is a high energy space. As you guys can tell, yours truly here is high energy. We have Elvira, we have Radhika, we have Vicky, Diego, Dennis, Mark in-house. So we bring the energy. That means if you guys are here, go ahead and type #live. If you are, let me know about you. Some of you guys are new here. If you're new here, welcome. I'm super excited and super grateful to have you here. Let me know what it is that you focus on with your business. Let me know where it is in the world that you live. This is an international community, and I love that it is an international community. And we bring the energy. We bring the energy through the chat. So go ahead and bring your hearts. Hey, Alberto, good to see you here. Bring your hearts, bring your questions, bring your comments, bring your giffies. Hey, Jonah, good to see you. Into the comments, because that is us bringing the energy through this awesome medium of the internet. Number two, we bring an open mind and open heart. Oh, I'm loving the hearts. Yes, whoop, whoop. Loving it, guys. So we also bring an open mind and open heart. That means that you're going to be learning new strategies here. You're going to be, meeting new people. And so as we approach this learning of the new information, actually, I'm like, oh, I don't have them here. I think I put them in the car. I was going to put my little texts.
cowgirl hat on. We're actually going to take that hat off, the expert hat off. And here you're coming to ask questions and to learn and to get excited and to be inspired every single week, which is really cool. You guys get that for free. That's crazy. And so we bring an open mind and open heart. And the third piece is bring your full self and your authentic self. You are welcome here. Hey guys, my mom is in the house. Hey mom, mi mama. So we could all say, hey mom. My mom is awesome. She loves to be part of this community. So sometimes you guys will probably at some point meet my mom. I'll probably be bringing her on. So we, talking about bringing your full self and your authenticity, we bring all parts of ourselves, and I welcome you to bring all of you. That means wherever you are. I know it's uncertain times. It's Corona. Some people have lost their jobs. Some people have lost their livelihoods. And this is a place where you are accepted and you are loved just as you are, wherever it is, whether you're like, I'm thriving, or where you're like, I don't even know if I have the energy to just want to wake up, and go out and do the things that I'm supposed to do. All of it is okay. You are loved and you are accepted and you are welcome here exactly as you are right here, right now. And I love you, and I'm holding space for all of you guys here. And this is why these office hours are going to be more important than ever, because this is where you get to ask these questions. Again, it has never been more important for your business presence to be online. Hey, Abi, and I don't know if I'm going to say your name right. Abiodun. Let me know if I got it right. Abiodun. Good to have you here. And finally, number 4, what we should know about this community that we have here is that we don't play small. We're not here to just survive. We're not here to just go through the motions. We're here to go big. We're here to dream big and to have courage and to be inspired and to be an inspiration for other people. So if you guys have inspirational quotes, if you have, questions, ahas, post it in the group. This is your space. This is not my space. This is your space. So we get to come here and be in community and be big, to rise to our full potential. We're going to be talking about these times, these Corona times. This is an opportunity, and I've said this before, this is an opportunity for you to rise up in leadership. You're being called to serve more than ever. I know that we have a lot of coaches, we have consultants, we have business owners. This is a chance where, yes, you're going to be asked to be creative. You're going to be asked to think outside of the box. And some of the best things come from these hard, my boyfriend calls it, from stretchy moments, right? And I really love that phrase, stretchy. So rather, a question that I was asking myself is how do we make this whole experience, rather than it be this really heavy, oh, it's going to be so hard, it's going to be so heavy, it's going to be so negative, it's going to be so bad. What if we ask different questions, right? What if we ask questions like, what is the beauty in this moment? What can I be grateful for? How can I be resourceful in ways that I haven't been resourceful? Who can I connect with, right? If you start asking empowering questions, and all of a sudden the entire game changes. And so I really encourage you to ask those questions and to think of the situation as a stretchy situation, right? So rather than calling it, a disaster or pandemic, I'm just going to say stretchy. We're in a stretchy situation where we get to stretch ourselves. We get to be creative. We get to be resourceful. We get to try different things. We get to feel our emotions and work through our emotions. And you're allowed to feel what you're feeling. And we get to rise up every single day and keep showing up for our lives. If you're not already following my stories on Instagram, get on Instagram. Lucy Gonzalez, you're going to find me, Lucy Gonzalez, on everything. Lucy Gonzalez on YouTube, on Instagram, Facebook. The best places to find me is going to be Facebook and Instagram. But if you want to be inspired every single day through Insta stories or Facebook stories, make sure that you're following my stories. Every day I'm waking up and I'm going for a run. I'm eating healthy. I'm drinking my water. I'm having my supplements, because I want you to see that you can do that as well, right? Just because things are different. And yes, some of you are really, really struggling. Just because things are different does not mean that we're going to crumble, does not mean that we can turn this into a great opportunity, does not mean that we don't get to use this time and this experience to serve more than before. And that you are, again, just a reminder, you are needed more than ever before. So in this space, we go big and we raise the bar. Are you guys here for that? If you're here for that, say I'm here for that in the comments. Okay, so just heads up, this is usually our only logistics sort of note. Our next lunch and learn, which again I am rebranding. So this is I'm going to change this. We're rebranding to online presence hacks. So OPH. If you're down with OPH, yeah, you know me. That totally did not work. So OPH, online presence hacks. We are going to be having it. It's on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern. So go ahead and just block that into your calendar because again, it's never been more important than ever. Sometimes I will have to change things. So I guess update news. I'm moving for a couple of months, for maybe like a month and a half. I'm gonna be in San Diego. And so next week's gonna be a little bit interesting. So on next week, Wednesday, we are going to be doing our online presence hacks on Wednesday, not on Tuesday. I will give you guys some notice. Also, I already talked about it. My online course, the Passion Profit online course, is now 50% off, which is cray. If you know someone who did lose their livelihood, who lost their income, I do have an affiliate program where if people sell any of the sales brand programs, and again, it's a win-win, you're helping somebody else, that's open to you right now. And I think it's very generous. And interviews and masterclasses coming your way, which I'm really excited about. And also, I have a 1-day event where I'm going to be training you all via Zoom on a comprehensive strategy in terms of your online presence that you need to be executing as of like yesterday for your online presence during the times of Corona. So if you're interested, make sure that you're RSVP, that you guys, there's the link. I'll put in the comments below. So that is it for our logistics for today. Shall we dive in? So the focus of the week for this week is pivoting. So let's talk about pivots. What does it mean to pivot? So as some of you may know, I worked in Silicon Valley for 4 years. And in Silicon Valley, that is a common, it's like a word that we always discuss. It's like, we're pivoting, all right? Like you're iterating, you're pivoting. And this of all times is one of the times that you really want to be thinking of what's your pivot. So I want you to write down that question and just put in. I'm a very kinesthetic learner, so I need to have like things on the walls. I have like my calendars, I have my things of inspiration, my goals up there. So I want you to ask yourself and put it on the wall, what's my pivot? What's your pivot? What is your plan to have this be a time when you really get creative and you get resourceful and you make your business work, right? You can do this, you have it in you, and it's going to require a pivot plan. And so I'm just wondering, what's your pivot? There are, just as a reminder, there are people out there who still have money. There are people who have not been able to go to the movies. They've not been able to buy all the things that they're used to buying. And so if you become a necessity, not a nice to have, but a necessity, then people will have money to spend. And it is in times like this, guys, that people, and I heard this from Reid Hoffman, and he was talking, this is going to be one of those times in history where we're going to see the largest transferings of money, of wealth, right? So money will be transferred. Hey, Jack, good to see you here. And so the question is, are you positioning yourself in such a way that you are setting your business up for the future? A future where you're going to be in a position to still serve your people, whether that be online, offline, right? Like you need to have a pivot plan. You need to have a strategy. You need to think of the future. I know that for people in California, we're looking at, shelter in place through May 1st. Here in Austin, Texas, I think it's also like, I don't know the exact date, but probably. So we're looking at 8 to 12 weeks. I want you guys to have a plan for the 8 to 12 weeks ahead in case you're still quarantined. So if you're still quarantined in 8 to 12 weeks, what's your plan? How are you bringing in money? And your online presence is going to be one of those ways that you make sure that your business continues. It is critical. It is so imperative for you to have your online presence game just up and running. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive into your questions. So what we do here every single week is I go on for an hour and I answer your questions. So do you guys have questions? I see some people who are still here live. It's so good to have you guys here. So let me know in the comments, what are your questions about your getting your business online? As those questions start coming in, I'm going to be answering other questions that have been submitted by you guys when you entered this group. So when you entered the group, you saw that there was a, if you don't answer these questions, we can't accept you into the group. So I will be answering those questions. And as your questions are coming in, the whole point, maybe not the whole point, but a huge benefit of having these office hours is you guys are sending me questions via Messenger. I don't have the capacity to answer questions via Messenger. This is your chance. Like, put these hours on your calendar. Ask me your questions right here, right now. So what I'll say, if you guys are asking me questions in Messenger, is I'm going to direct you to these office hours and I will answer your questions here. So if you guys have questions, write them down in the comments in terms of getting your business presence online. As a reminder, this is the blueprint that we cover. So for those of you that are new here, pillar number 1. So this is the blueprint. Oops. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to exit on out so I can go ahead and work with this. So if you guys can let me know in the comments, who here is new to the blueprint? Who needs an explanation of the blueprint? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a very quick overview of the blueprint, because I know some of you are new here. And just know that everything that we operate on, whether it be in the online course, whether it be in the accelerator, in these online presence hack office hours, it's all centered around the blueprint. So how does the blueprint help us in times of Corona? Number 1 is the first pillar. So the blueprint is broken down into 3 pillars, right? So we have pillar 1, pillar 2, pillar number 3. Pillar 1 is an interesting pillar in terms of these times, right? So it's the LMS analysis. So you're looking at what's your expertise, you're looking at what's the lifestyle that you want, you're looking at what are your money milestones and timelines, what does impact mean to you, and how it is important for you to reach impact, for the people that you touch in your life, and then what are your strengths. So this is still really important. Potentially for some of you, your timelines around money, and I would say you don't have to. We're gonna get through this. This will change. This, like, we have never seen something like this. I've never seen something like this in human history. We as a human species haven't seen something like this in a long time. We as a world will change from coronavirus, right? And at the same time, I want you to now, there's a quote that I have on my board that says, be faithful, be loyal to your vision, not to your fears. So more than ever, I want you guys to be faithful to your vision. So get hyper clear on what is your vision. And that's pillar number 1. So getting really clear as to what is the space that you want to work in, what is the lifestyle that you want to create. This is not time to say, I can't have that. No. This is time to buckle in and say, like, this is when I create this lifestyle and I can do it. And believe me, you can do it. Now let's go on to pillar number 2. And as I do this, drink your water. So I'm going to drink my water. You want to stay hydrated. So we can have a little drinking game. When I drink water, you drink water to make sure that you're staying properly hydrated. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break here. Okay, let's continue. Pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is, so for this, especially for my one-on-one clients, what you'll hear me talk about is pillar number 2 is make it or break it. Pillar number 2, especially in times of Corona, it is the most important pillar. Let's talk very briefly about pillar number 3. Pillar number 3 is how you build your business presence online. This tells you the steps, the sequence, what to do, when to do it, how to actually get this done. Pillar number 2 is super critical because it tells you what to do. Pillar 3 is how to do it. For those of you that have questions of like, well, how do I get my Instagram to look like that? How do I get my Facebook, funnel up? for a lot of thrivers. And if I say thrivers, I'm part of I was somewhat this leader of an organization reached out to me, and they said, they asked me if I wanted a leadership role as MC and dance leader in their organization. I was like, sure, that sounds really amazing. I would love to learn from you guys. And so we, that community, they just had a big event. And so we have some people here who have joined from that. And so in it, we discuss these great, amazing strategies. So if I talk about thrivers, that's what it means. Okay, so back to pillar number 2. Pillar number 2 is make it or break it for you. So pillar number 2 is going to, and I'm going to make some notes here. I'm going to bring this up. Let's go ahead and start jotting down some notes. So pillar 2 is going to be make it or break it in these times of Corona. So pillar number 2, we've talked about this before. There are going to be some basic questions. The basic questions that I want you guys to write these down, put them on your wall, look at them every single day. You do not make any offers. You do not create any services. You do not create any products. You do not take any action that is not pillar 2 approved. If you have not gone through these questions, you do not have permission to press go. Like this, especially in these times, it is absolutely critical. So the questions that we've answered before, or that we've asked before, and hopefully you guys have really taken the time to answer, is what is the urgent and specific problem that I have? Problem that I am solving for a target audience that is able to and willing to pay for my products and services. Okay, so 2 main components here. We're going to have an urgent and specific problem. I want you guys to write this down, put it on your wall, look at it every single day. We do not take action unless it's urgent and specific. So let me know in the comments, write down for yourself on a journal, what is, especially, and I want you guys to think as it pertains to times of Corona. Hey, Kim, good to see you here, girlfriend. As it pertains to times of Corona, what is the urgent and specific problem that you're solving for a target audience? This is your niche, that is able to and willing to pay for your services. This has changed. This has changed, guys. Like, this is where the pivot comes in. So when we think of your pivot, it has never been more important to answer this question, not generally, like it is no longer, like it is no longer business as usual. So business as usual is done. It's dead. Like you cannot continue to operate text. You cannot operate from that perspective of business as usual. If you continue to operate from business as usual, I am sorry to inform you, but there will be pain. It will be hard. Again, it is unclear when things are going to change. It could be in 4 weeks. It could be, I'm preparing, and I have heard from my mentors and multiple people that I've been checking in with, and the thought leaders, we're looking realistically, I think we're looking at 8 to 12 weeks of this environment continuing. So my question is, what's your plan? Are you prepared? Do you have a pivot plan? So the question is, do you have a pivot plan? And if you don't have a pivot plan, I am putting on an event, a full day event that I would love for you guys to RSVP to. It's free, where we're going to be coming up with your pivot plan. We're going to be talking about What do you need to be doing online? What do you need to be doing to represent yourself? How do you do pillar number 2 right? Because again, pillar number 2 from the blueprint has never been more important. And you need to be answering a question. So let's call it a corona pivot, right? What's your corona pivot? What is the urgent and specific problem that you're solving for a target audience that is able to and willing to pay for your products and services right now in the time of corona? So I'll add in the time of corona. I need you to answer this for your business. What is that answer? If you don't have a concrete, clear answer, some of you, if the answer is not readily available, you're going to feel like you're spinning your wheels. You're going to feel like nothing's working. That's because we haven't taken the time to really answer that question. That question, like this is the question that can make it or break it for your business in these times of corona, right? So I really want to impress upon you how important it is that you write this question down and you put it on your wall. You think about it during your, your morning runs, your morning workouts. Like I want you to create an answer. Those people that are able to adjust, right? So there's this quote out there, and for those of you that are part of Thrive, Charla, who leads Thrive, she co-leads Thrive. She was talking about how she studied biology, and there's this quote that says, it is the, what's the quote? It goes, survival of the fittest, right? No, that's wrong. It is not survival of the fittest. It is survival of the most adaptable. It is not survival of the fittest. It is survival of the most adaptable. So the question is, are you adapting? The question is, what's your pivot plan? The question is, what is the urgent and specific problem that you're solving for a group of people, your niche, that is able to and willing to pay for products and services right here, right now, right? People are buying lots of toilet paper. People are buying, like sanitizers, hand sanitizers. It's not that people aren't buying. And so this is not the time. I talk about this in the online course. If you haven't signed up for the online course, you guys need to sign up for the online course, especially next couple of weeks. It's 50% off, which is crazy. So in the online course, I talk about a vitamin versus a painkiller. You have to think, for your business, what are you? Are you a vitamin or are you a painkiller? This is the time to be a necessity. This is not the time to be a luxury. So that's another question. What are you? And so what does it mean? What does it mean to be a vitamin versus a painkiller? So a vitamin is a nice to have, right? A vitamin is, I have my little, it's in the closet. I'm not going to go get it. I have my little, what is it? My little, Monday through Friday thing of my vitamins. Sometimes I forget to take my vitamins because you know what? It's not a necessity. This is not the time to be a vitamin. If you are a vitamin in this time, I am sorry, but you might die. Like, I hope that you guys keep showing up for these, online presence, office hours, because this is going to be so important. Like, businesses will go out of business. The other day, I spent some time and I went downtown, and I've been working so hard. I've just been at the computer, which, by the way, I got these cool glasses. These are like, they block off the light, the blue light. So it was like super exciting. Anyway, that's total aside. So I went downtown, and I was just like, I needed a break from the computer and just from just working so long on the computer. And it was so eerie. And maybe you guys have seen this. It was so eerie because I drove by downtown Austin and everything was deserted, right? And my heart broke. And I talked to my boyfriend and I was telling him, like, my heart is breaking for these businesses, guys. And you know what? It's personal. this is personal to me. This work that I'm doing is personal. My heart breaks for my dad, right? Like my dad is one of those businesses that's being impacted by this, where if he can't leave his house, if he can't go out and do the things he needs to do, you don't have a business. You don't have a way to bring money in, which is why I am more fired up than ever to serve you guys in this community, because I understand, I see what's happening, and it has never been more important for you to have your pivot plan and for you to be a painkiller, not a vitamin. Right now is the time to be a necessity, not a luxury. Like we do not have, people will not buy your products and services if you're a luxury. So as you're thinking and strategizing and planning around what your plan is that like I need this to be part of your plan, right? How are you thinking of how you are in these times positioning yourself as a necessity? People are looking for leadership. People are hungry for products and services that help them solve and address an urgent and specific problem, right? So I want you guys to think in the course, we talk about the 4 major markets. If you guys remember the 4 major markets, go ahead and write them down in the comments. There are 4 major markets, and the 4 major markets, I call them hot markets. Hot markets are markets that have trillions of dollars in transactions. And there's 4 of them. So if you guys remember, what are the 4 hot markets? Any takers? I'm gonna let you think before I type in the answers. All right, so the first one, and let me get something under my computer before it dies on me. I don't know what this is. We don't need you right now. Okay, so 4 main markets. We're gonna have the main market, which is going to be health. We understand right now, health is a hot market. If you are in the market of health products, health services, you are needed. That includes mental health. What I've heard from people is we are going to be, a lot of people are going to be experiencing a lot of fear and anxiety, and like they already are, and depression, and we have social distancing. As a coach, this is also the time, like this is what the time that you get to rise. If you are a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a service provider, this is your time. This is your moment. People have never needed your support and your leadership ever more than right here, right now. Hey, Jan, good to see you here. So this is your moment. So we have the 4 markets. Health. If you're in health, this is your moment. The other markets, any takers? What are the other 3 markets? So we also have relationships. We have money, and we have beauty and entertainment. All right. Hey, Belinda, good to see you here. So right now, let's look at the 4 hot markets. We have health, relationships, and money. Beauty and entertainment, guys, we've seen this. Entertainment, your delivery of your goods, of your products and services is going to have to change, right? What is your Corona pivot? What is your pivot? How are you thinking creatively around this time? Let's create a little bit of space here. That's totally out now. Sorry, guys. I'm a little bit of perfectionist and needs to fit in. Okay, so we are looking at, like entertainment. Yes, movies are closed. Theaters are closed. A lot of, I was listening, one of my favorite shows is Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. And I was listening to the show, and it kind of broke my heart. I was just like, like you could tell that like they're not pivoting. And I was just thinking like, you gotta pivot. Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. You gotta pivot. This is your chance. Like this is your time to pivot. Are you pivoting? Like if you were providing entertainment before, you're gonna have to change. Like if you're Netflix, you're doing great, right? If you're any of these online ways of sharing your products and your services, this is a great opportunity for you. If that hasn't been you, you got to pivot. Like, and this could be, if you allow it to, and if we change our perspective, this could be one of the best things that ever happened to you, because now you're having, like, now it's not a nice to have. Now you're being forced to take your business presence online. You're being forced to take your products and your services online. But guess what? Something that's really exciting that happens is when we go online, which is pillar number 3, then we get to the wedding cake. If you're new in this community, you don't know what the wedding cake is. I really recommend for you to do the free training. You should have received an email with the free training where it's 3 days of walking through the blueprint. There's also like a quick, like quick little masterclass in this group. It's like one of the first, pinned things there. But so the wedding cake is your offers, right? And there's a sequence in which we create different offerings and for our people. For most of you, you're going to start, if you guys want to write this down, like take notes, you're not going to start with products. Most of you are going to start with the service. Some of you here, you've been in business for so long that you know your market in and out. But guess what? Your market is now changed. It has. Your market has changed. And I am asking you, how are you addressing what is being asked of you right here, right now, in terms of the market? Like there's the question of like, what is even the right market for you right now? So keeping that in mind, the way to, I believe, one of the most powerful ways to really scale is through productization. What is productization? Productization is when you take your thing, your expertise, your coaching, your consulting, your small business, and you turn it, and my favorite productization is a no physical product, right? You start with the easiest, like I want to have this be as easy as possible for you. So no physical products. We're not talking about selling, like widgets, like real things that you can hold in your hands. We're not talking about that. Information products. This is the time for information products. It has never been easier and more important for you to create an information product. But that's not where you begin. Where you begin is you begin with a pillar 2 analysis. You provide a service, you get to know, and it's high-end service, right? And yes, your prices and how you think about pricing is going to change in these times of Corona, right? So you're gonna provide a service, and there's multiple ways of providing a high-tier service. Once you know the market well enough, which again, the market has changed. You are not operating in the same market you used to operate in. The market is now different. So once we better understand this market that you're operating in right now, then you can productize. Then it makes sense to go ahead and productize that service that you really got to know. Productize and work with this market that's really excited about what it is that you're providing. And when you productize, what happens, what's really exciting, thank you guys for the love. I'm seeing some hearts, I'm seeing some likes. Thank you guys. When you productize, it is, I think, so here's how I think about my business model, right? And I want to expand your mind. I want you to have a new perspective, a new possibility of what business can look like. And when I first heard this, it blew my mind and it changed my world. So this piece right here could change your life forever. So I remember I went to a business training the entire last year. Just like went to all the business trainings. It was really cool. And I studied the masters, right? I studied Tony Robbins inside and out. And I studied, Rachel Hollis, and I went to her conferences and like all the things. And I studied Brendon Burchard, and, just like I went to all of the masters because I wanted to understand what it took, Russell Brunson. I wanted to understand what it took to be excelling at that level. And I wanted to understand their offerings, so their wedding cake. I wanted to understand the sequence of offerings. And in doing that, when I was at Brendon Burchard's, he was talking about how he figured out the online world, right? He started creating online products and services. And when he did that, so he had and then these numbers are insane. He had $28 million launches. Can you anyone here interested in 28 consecutive million launches. And then the other thing that he said, he was like, when I had this online product, and again, we do not start with a product. You start with a service, you get to know the market, you get to know the problem, and then you turn it into a product that you know is going to be a winning product. You only create a product when you know you're going to win as a product. So he had this product, he went on stage, and and this is a story that I've heard from multiple people. He went on stage and he sold this product, and in that 90 seconds of that delivery of that of sharing the information he was sharing, he made $3.5 million. $3.5 million from a 90-minute presentation. And I was just like, I'm in, I'm sold. Like, how do I do that? And then that wasn't the only thing. The other thing that he talked about was he has now created a business model that if something were to happen to him, if we were to get sick, if something like Corona were to happen when you couldn't like work, or anything was to happen to him, he didn't have to show up at the office for 365 days. He would continue to make the same amount of money because he had invested in online products and services, especially the products. How would you like to be sitting on the beach, just getting little notifications, ding, 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 you just made money. You're asleep. You're making money while you're sleeping. That can only happen when you productize, which is why it is so important that you are thinking of what is my productization strategy. And I'm going to encourage all of you guys to have an information productization strategy. What does that mean? You're going to be creating information products. So you're coaching, you turn that into an information product. You're consulting, you turn that into an information product that solves an urgent and specific problem for a niche that is able to and willing to pay for your products and services in the time of Corona, right? Because this is the context of what we're going through right here, right now. This could set you up. And so I'm asking you, are these things that you're answering? Do you have your Corona pivot? Do you have your strategy? Have you answered this question? If you haven't taken the time to answer this question, I'm really going to push you to answer that question and to be planned and to be ready to endure and thrive. What is the thought that like we don't just have to survive, but we get to thrive in this space? Because again, this is going to be of human history, potentially one of the largest transfers of wealth. It is going to be, and I'll repeat that, in human history, one of the largest transfers of wealth. How are you positioning yourself in your business in terms of what your future is going to look like? And that decision of what your future is going to look like, that's on you. And you get to act, you get to do this right here, right now. And one of the main components, one of the main pieces is going to be positioning yourself online with the right products and services. You're going to start with it, and you can accelerate this process. You can start serving people. You can be making money as you're serving people. So right, you start with a service and a premier service, and then you productize. This is going to be really, really important that you guys are thinking how you're positioning yourself for the future. So do you have a pivot plan? And do you have a pivot plan that sets you up to thrive and to be strong for the next 8 to 12 weeks if we were to continue to be in quarantine for 8 to 12 weeks? What's your plan? Do you have a plan? Are you prepared? And again, you cannot be a vitamin. You have to be a painkiller. So the question for you, I want you to answer, if you guys can let me know in the comments, what are you? Are you a vitamin or are you a painkiller? And if you are a vitamin, what is your pivot strategy, right? This is the time to be a necessity. This is not the time to be a luxury. So in the past, if you were a luxury, people are just not like, people have gone into fear mode, right? So I heard this, I'm gonna pause to share. I heard this from mentors. So we're gonna look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Right now, you need to be not at the self-actualization. You need to be at the lowest levels. So let me just copy and paste in here. Oh, if you guys have questions, as I'm going through all of this, put your questions in the comments again. This is your chance to ask questions. Resume share. This is your chance to ask questions. If you were to work with me one-on-one, it goes for $500 an hour. This is, you can't, like, I am too busy to answer to questions on Messenger. I am too busy to like respond to individual requests. This is your time to ask questions. If you guys have questions about your individual business right here, right now, this is your chance. Like, you can ask a question in the comments, and, you know, just like, you know, share some like your takeaways, your ahas, what you're learning, your questions that you have, your thoughts. This is your chance. Otherwise, you know, if you want to get me on the phone for $500 an hour, happy to jump on the phone with you. My recommendation is going to be like, go ahead and subscribe to the course, you know, do the full online course. Join the accelerator. But, you know, if you wanted to jump on the phone and like have the $500 an hour chat, happy to do so. But this is your chance. This is your chance to ask questions for free, guys. So, and it only comes once a week. So this is, you know, if you guys have questions as to anything that I'm talking about, go ahead and let me know in the comments. So let's borrow this here. So we're looking at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Right now, you need to be focusing your products and services here. Okay, so we are not right now in self-actualization. We are not right now at the esteem level, respect, self-esteem, status, recognition. People are more in fear mode. And again, you get to show up as a leader. You get to show up and people are going to respond. There's like mirror neurons are these neurons that we have in our brains that have us act, you know, and you know, it's for you to be part of the tribe, so you act like the people around you. And so if you're showing up with certainty, if you're showing up with strength, that's going to be really, really important in these times. And so people are looking for you to do that, and for you to provide them with resources, with, you know, with tools, with services, products that address these three bottom rungs of the Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid that we have here. So your physiological needs, your safety needs, and love and belonging. So connecting this back to the markets that we were talking about, health, relationships, and money. I think these are going to be the key. I think these are key markets right here, right now, in terms of Corona. Beauty and entertainment, you know, like we do need entertainment, but this is like a nice to have. It is not a need to have. Beauty, also a nice to have, not a need to have. So if you've been in these spaces, this is going to be the time for you to, again, think of your pivot plan. This is going to be the time for you to think of, how am I becoming a painkiller, not a vitamin? So let me make this purple so it stands out. And just know that if you're in this market, you're gonna have to be a little bit more creative than most, right? But if you're in these markets, if you're in the market of health, if you're in the market of relationships, if you're in the market of money, you have so much possibility right now. Health, like if you are a health coach, if you are if you do anything with health, people are scared. They're afraid. This is your chance to provide leadership. This is your chance to serve your heart out. This is your chance to really help people. And it does not mean that you have to do it for free. Yes. So there's this concept in terms of pricing that I heard from my mentors. And it was, you are going to provide the same for less. You guys can write this down. Provide the same for less. Or charge the same for more. So this is what's being expected of you in a market like this. And the other thing that I heard that was really interesting is, this is not a recession economy. This is a wartime economy. And so as you're thinking of what you're providing, right, it does not mean that people don't have money. They do have money and they're paying for things. They're paying for things right here, right now. But your question, especially if you're, I mean, let me know in the comments, what's your market? What market are you operating in? So if you're in health, very, very needed right now, whether it's mental health, actual health, really necessary. If you are in the market of relationships, my goodness, it has never been more important. Not only do we have social distancing where like you can't, it's been so hard for me, right? I'm like, I haven't been able to go dancing or go to a cafe, or like I was telling my friend, I was like, I need human interaction. Um, so relationships, not only is it the distancing, but for some people, it's like you're in the same place, you're in the same house for so long with these people that you didn't expect to be in the same space with. And so that could strain relationships. So if you are a professional that you support, whether it be romantic relationships, family relationships, you know, even if like you're in education, those are relationships of some sort, right? So how are you thinking of your corona pivot? How are you thinking of pivoting to the times you are being asked to pivot? You do not have the luxury of doing business as usual. I wrote that. Where did I write that down? Oh, it's right here. So business as usual, you do not have that luxury. So I want to know, what is your plan? Like, what is your plan to make sure that you are, setting yourself up to succeed? All right, guys, any other questions? We're at top of the hour. This is it. So we will be meeting again next week. Next week, I will be going on Wednesday, not on Tuesday. And next week's gonna be interesting for me. I'm gonna be doing a little transition to San Diego for a couple of months before I come back to Texas. My sister is pregnant. She's gonna be giving birth anytime in April or May, so it feels good to be close to her. And so I'll be checking in. Yes, some love. Thank you for the love. I'm super excited. We're gonna have a little new baby here. And so again, I guess where I'll leave off today is, if you guys don't have any other questions, and if you didn't catch this whole thing, my goodness, like, watch this whole training. Today's training was so important. Today's training could be the reason that you make it or you don't make it, and that you shift and pivot fast enough or you don't, and you're left behind in the dust, right? As we talked about, business as usual does not work. So if you didn't watch the entire training, go ahead and go back to the training. Let me know your comments, like hashtag replay. Let me know your questions. We will be back next Wednesday. So next Wednesday, I'll be back. I'll keep you guys posted on all the things. Follow me on stories. I am mostly, the most updated stories are my Instagram stories. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, and you're checking in with my stories for motivation, for inspiration, for like, let's go every single day, right? If you need a little bit of more motivation, inspiration every day, make sure you're catching those stories. I post some of them on Facebook, but not all of them get on Facebook. So your best bet's going to be on Instagram. This is the time, this is the place, guys, on, during our online presence hacks. This is your time to ask me questions about Instagram. This is your time to ask me questions about your Facebook presence. We're going to be turning your profiles into a funnel for your ideal clients. Anyone interested in that? Right. So this is your chance to ask questions. So my last thoughts here today in this, in this time that we get to share together. And like, first of all, thank you for being here. I so appreciate you. I want you to know that I want to recognize you and acknowledge you for being here. I want to recognize you and acknowledge you for showing up. Because when you show up in a space like this, you're not showing up to the negative news. You're not showing up. You're showing up in action. You're showing up in courage. You're showing up in joy. You're showing up in gratitude. You're showing up to be inspired, to know that, yes, you can do this. You got it in you, and you're gonna be strong. You're gonna be stronger. We're gonna be different. We're gonna be different at the end of this, and we will be stronger. So what I will leave us off with is a message of joy, a message of, this is your chance, especially if you're a coach, if you're a consultant, if you're a service provider of any sort. You're being called to serve. You're being called to love. We're all in this together. We're gonna change. We're gonna change as a people. We're gonna change as a world. Let's have that be a positive thing. Let's not have this, stretchy situation be a waste of something where we didn't learn, where we didn't grow, where we didn't contribute more love, where we didn't contribute more joy, where we didn't contribute to our people who are desperate and hungry and need you. This is your moment. This is what you were created for. You were created to stand in courage. You were created to bring your joy. You were created to bring your brilliance and your gifts. And now your gifts just have to be delivered a little bit differently. They have to be delivered online. And I'm here for you. I'm here to guide you through the process of getting you online so you can work your magic, so you can do the work that you need to do. And I'll continue to see you guys here every single week. I love you guys so much. I am so honored and so privileged to have such a beautiful community of incredible, just like entrepreneurs. You guys are changing the world. You're doing incredible work. I believe in you. I see your magic. I see your gifts. I see your power. You're supposed to be here. You're supposed to be here, and this is your time to serve. This is your time to rise. This is your time to be courageous. And again, love you guys. I will catch you next week. Okay, bye everyone.